Okay, it is a little after 5:30. Thanks everybody for being here for the pre-meeting, for the meeting that will start at 6. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes. Any changes? No, no changes. Next we have set public hearings. Ordinance number 244594, approved zoning ordinance rewrite and zoning map, set public hearing for Monday, November 4th, 2024 at 6 p.m.
Good evening, Council. So this is for the zoning rewrite for the vote that's coming November 4th. I do want the public to be aware that we are going to do a public review on Tuesday, October 22nd from 4:30 to 6 p.m. at Turner Searles. What would be helpful for us is if you have questions to email those in to planning@decatur-al.gov. That way we can address questions. It helps us. It's a large document. And also there's been questions about where to find the map, where to find the actual zoning rewrite manual. It is online at the City of Decatur website. We also have QR codes around the room. If you go up and hit the QR code on your phone, it'll pull that up as well.
Hey, Dan, where on the city website, where do they go to planning?
If you go to the main page, Mayor, it's right there in the front on the left. It says Public Hearing Proposed Zoning Ordinance. It's the first icon.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next we have public hearings, resolution number 24152, approved abatement of unsafe conditions at 2913 Leesdale Avenue Southwest. Public hearing was tabled September 3rd, 2024.
Yeah, so no changes on that. Homeowners purchase permits, but this will be the third time that that's happened and no action's been taken so far as having inspections done or anything.
Anybody have any questions? Next one is resolution number 24226, approved request for restaurant retail liquor license by Santa Ana Brothers LLC, DBA Marlin's Bar and Grill, located at 2148 Beltline Road, Southwest, Decatur.
No changes.
No changes. Resolutions. Resolution number 24227, redirect ARPA funding from Pine Park to Parkway Park.
No changes unless council has questions.
Next, we have resolution 24228, authorize mayor to apply for Children's Trust Fund Family Matters Program.
No changes.
No changes. Next, we have resolution 24229, approved community service and economic development contracts for FY25.
No changes.
Next is resolution 24230, approval for Bagby Elevator Project, jail lobby.
No changes.
No changes. Next is resolution 24231, approval for Flint Tennis Court demo and disposal.
No changes.
Next is resolution 24232, intergovernmental agreement amendment with Decatur City Board of Education.
No changes.
Changes. Resolution 24233, approved proposed quote for cleaning and mulching at ADM.
No changes.
You got them all today. Next we have ordinance number 244592, declare surplus and authorize the sale of 720 Sykes Street Northwest.
No changes unless council has.
And finally, ordinance 244593, authorizing the issuance of $5 million revolving line of credit pending committee approval, which we have. Anybody? No changes. Okay. And all right, well, we will reconvene at 6 for the meeting. Brandon, do you want to do it now, or do you want to wait until right before the meeting, or right when the meeting starts? You want to wait so maybe more people will be here? As soon as we start, you're gonna go first. You might wanna like wave your hands. We're gonna do it right out of the gate. 6? Well, let's do the roll call, invocation, pledge, and then we'll leave. All right, it's 6 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. Dane Shaw will lead us in our pledge and invocation.
Father, we thank you for this evening to come together as a city. We ask for your wisdom and your guidance and your strength. And we thank you for the city to dwell in. And we ask your blessing on all the residents here in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Dane. Roll call. Here. 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 All right, we're going to start the meeting off with a presentation from Brandon Watkins, DYS Director.
I think she's going to get that up for me.
Are we going to watch Rainbow Road? Some of the programs we're giving the kids?
She's going to put it up. All right. Thank y'all for having us. But
There we go.
thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Due to the events that had a negative impact on the city of Decatur for the past year, recent months, and actually even today, many of our residents have lost confidence in our leaders and questioned the integrity of our city. Our intents for this plan or to present this project that we're doing with DYS for the Fall Fest, that we would have no budget, no square footage, or any specifics. But when we come to the budget and we come to the bidding, that will take place later. This project is a piece of hope for the community. We want the residents to be excited about the change that they can visually see occurring in the community that we live in, as well as bridging the gap of regaining the community trust in the leadership of the city. We trust the city will do what they say, and they will do it. I know there's been some concern about the Carrie Matthews Center that we have in the community for a long time in my memories. Well, really, my father worked there for years, and Lord knows I have great memories. Even in the tearing down or keeping, we are open for whatever you guys do with the Carrie Matthews Center. If you look on there right now, the corner as I get to it, you'll see the small square. That is where we could index, if it's needed or wanted, the gym for Carrie Matthews Center, a part of our project, or any other solutions around the ball. We're excited about this project because we know the impact is going into it, but going in to serve people. We are urging the citizens that we are saying that we're bringing a face change to the northwest side of the town, and that the city will keep their words. In the words of me, it is hard to help people, but we got to do the right thing. So that is what you see before us. That is DYS and all 3 buildings combined together in a facility. On the end, that is Carrie Matthews Center. If you all do it, if not, if they redo the old Carrie Matthews Center, we'll take it as well. It will be 2 gyms. One gym will be for just our programs, and the next gym will be for open. We got boxing up there, if you can see it. We got office. It's a beautiful facility. It'll be 3 facilities coming together. That is the plan. The architect did it. He did it in a unique way. It looks like a school. There have been nothing on the northwest side of town in 50 years. I think what's going on today, this will be a brace to tell the community that we're keeping our word. We've been working on this for 4 years, and it's going well. Any questions?
I mean, could you walk us through a little bit?
Yes, sir, I can.
So this is it a two-story facility?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you go over some on this end, on the first one, that is downstairs. So you'll see, yes, that is downstairs.
Okay.
You'll see right, oh, I can talk louder now. Let me go. I'll do this one. So, what you have here, you have, this will be new character, this will be new. This will be DY's building, we got a name for that. This will be our boxing facility. It's big enough for our ring office. This will be our studio for music and sound right here. This will be the bathrooms right here. Right here will be the middle of right here. So you can see through right there. This is our kitchen area, so we can do various things with our kitchen, have various activities. You come on over, this will be the office. This is the bottom floor. Our STEM program will be here in this area. Also, you will have our tutorial program, their house as well. We have also in here, where they have games and activities in each room. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 rooms. Everybody knows Derecka Rice want to invest dollar per dollar in our STEM program. Right now, he's working on doing Derecka Rice is working on giving us $75,000 to do our greenery. And if everybody knows where Carabecca Center is, if you go that way, it's 6 acres. We'll work our greenery in that area. Y'all see that part right there, where the pool is at. You come on off, it's another 6 acres. This is where this will be. In better words, we'll probably almost have 12 acres over there, rebuilt. One of the basketball courts is not on here. We wanted to do a rugby court. So we bring out professional people to raise money in that area. But get back to this. Upstairs will be our office, my office, how we do it, right here. And there'll be more office right here. And a lot of rooms are big, so we can have therapy. If you don't know, therapy is $200 per person. I do it personally on my own. But we have free therapy for anybody. That is huge for us right now, especially if the city's going through. So if you call the US, we give you free therapy, online or not. So that's the area we're in. Y'all see a lot of bathrooms, locker rooms. And what happens is we have a lot of locker rooms, a female locker room and a male locker room. So this is a very good project. So if nobody knows our cities, we got 3 locations in the city right now. 3 locations. They're going to put all 3 locations together to make it big for us. So that's where it is. Any more questions?
How many square feet is the building total? Do you know?
We haven't got out into that all yet because we're not sure, because we don't have the amount of money yet.
So programming wise, all your program will be in one place. Are there additional programs that you'll be adding in the new space?
No, sir. We have 36 programs, and we need to remove some as we stand today. But we're going to stick with them. So that'll be big enough for 36 programs. To add what people know, we have to give it to the mayor and HR. If you look at our statistics in the last 4 years, if we ask for 100 people per class, my staff have got 150. Our baseball has been done out of reach. It's almost asked to reach 250 kids per. We reach 4,000 people with UAS, and we have stats. So we have to go through a thing called kids track that we have to put in, no false information. So this year, we almost reached 4,000 people, and with no problems. We have a community event. We have thousands of people. Matter of fact, we're going to present this. If you guys go to my Carabecca Center, y'all see Ella Freeman, what we're doing our Fall Fest. We're going to present it on that lane. So this is a project, I think, what's going on with the community right now, to show that the city really going to do what they say and keep the word, because many people felt they would not do this for us, but we got the plans. We just want to present it, show what we're doing, and it's going to be a beautiful building. The architect I got, he did not want to do an aluminum building and make it cheap on the side of town. But that's what we're going. We want this building to be so beautiful that all races want to come over here and look at this facility. And he is doing it. If you see it at the bottom, it is beautiful. Matter of fact, if y'all go to the new Austin, it has that look. It'll be open for people to use it, for passing people deaf. It'll be big enough for the voting scene now. It'll be beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. One of our big things we're going to do, with Bruce Jones, who have been a part of this for 25 years, if you come down to U.S., that's this beautiful painting we'll be done for him. We're going to bring it back to the building. We're going to dedicate it to him. We have some both families we're going to do some things with. So this project is, I think, for our community, it's an impact. and I think it's needed majorly, very majorly. Any other questions?
Hey, Brandon, you mentioned the kitchen, and the kitchen is definitely needed, but you're also partnering with Decatur City Schools and the new Career Tech Center with their culinary program, is that right?
I'm glad that's correct. We'll partner with culinary school to use it after school, and we'll partner with the school for the STEM program to use after school. Right now, our tutoring program, we use only professional teachers. We have a partner with the school system, Dr. Douglas, and he pays professional teachers come in. If you guys look at the rate of the 3rd and 4th grade and up, it's out the roof. Y'all can get that. DYS is an impact on the kids' life right now. The biggest thing what goes on, no one really knows what DYS does. We are working with like 36 different organizations as well. We work with all the organizations. It's a madhouse down there. And my staff don't keep enough. We got 2 in here, Ms. Shannon, who's my assistant doing it, and Nick, who does a great job. It's a major thing we're doing. The blessing is, I won't have to run in 3 different buildings, and Ms. Shannon will have to run with me. When it comes time to do our summer programs, we have to beg for a place. The school give it to us. We have almost 150 kids. We have to beg for a place. When it comes to anything we do, we have to beg for a place. Get a school to help us, be thankful. We're running over, we got, it ain't an if, it's a must. It's a must. We got that. And like I said, if I care about the center, I want everybody to have, whatever they do is fine. We have a space for it. Ready to bring a new facility. And her name will be still the same. I talked to a family, they came in with me. They just want one piece, another thing did. We're not tearing down Karen Matthew, not recognize her. She will be recognized. But if they keep Karen Matthew, we get the building back, and we're going to do the same thing. We have no problem with that. That means we'll have here and there. We'll have about 12 acres. Who cares? We'll be excited about that. And that'll be beautiful for Norfolk side of town. Yes, sir.
Is this the only boxing facility in Decatur?
Only boxes in the state.
And it exists right now?
It's happening right now. We got our own, the council came, was very nice. We lost a building. They got us a very nice building up on Central. And it's beautiful. If you ever want to come see it, we'll show it. It's, we have boxing. We just left a boxing tournament in Huntsville. One of our kids didn't win, but he did well. We probably have 50 kids over there. And we pick up all our kids. Boston, take them. That's just one of the 36 programs we got. I can't imagine how, yes, sir.
And does this have to go through the planning commission?
What you got planned to
This
do?
plan, this bill?
Yes, everything will go through. We got to go through this. All the way down.
It's not gotten there yet.
Yes, we got to go through everything with everything. That's it. Got to make sure this is up to code, all these good things. That been very, for 4 years we've been working on this project. Make sure it's got a place. We just don't want something that have not built in 50 years that's not looking good. We want this building to look just like any other building in the city, and they are doing a great job of giving it to them. It's not me. It's my staff and people helping us. I tell people the best leader is the better father. I'm a better father than anybody. My staff really does it. I just follow behind them, and we work really well.
And Mike, regarding the Planning Commission, really the biggest part that I think will happen here as it relates to any facility that's going to go in, really any project, is going through the technical review committee where all the different utilities and entity partners get together and determine whether or not there need to be things addressed before the project moves forward.
And to you guys, I be highly and not bring a kid or anybody that's a low income to a low income building. You come out of facilities now, we have repainted them, restructured them, everything. I need the kids to come into my office today and something take their place, because that's what's going to happen. So my mindset on this is to build a beautiful facility for these kids to come into something nice. That's how I operate. I still don't do stuff first class, I do a Jesus class. That's how I live my life. So I think we need to do that for these kids, to make sure they come in and they say, look what we got. Put oil paintings in there, stuff like that. Beautiful stuff that they don't know to see. So that facility can last for a long time. Because in the 3 years I've been gone, I'm 52 right now, and somebody can take my place. But have a facility that can last, especially on 6 acres and another 6 acres. Oh man, y'all have everybody come around and have Deborah Rice, which is a meeting to participate. Have the school system is with us, highly working with us. We got so many people working with us. We are here a hidden jewel. So that's basically what we did today. I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Well, Mr. Mayor, you talked about the zoning commission taking charge of this. Is that right?
They just, all the different Decatur utilities, all the AT&T, other utilities, entity partners, need to go through and look at the project and see if there's anything that needs to happen before they approve the project.
So if it's taken us 4 years to get to this point, when would you project that we would have a finished project?
Oh, that's usually a one-day process
One-day process where?
at the planning commission.
Okay, so it's got to go through technical review, that's one thing. It's got to go through those, that's number two. So it's probably not a one-day affair then.
Well, I'm talking about the technical review.
Okay, I'm talking about the entire process. It's taken us 4 years to get to this point.
Yeah, it's still got to go through the council to move forward.
So is this the first step in getting through the council?
Yes, sir.
Or is it the zoning commission?
The council. The council,
Okay, let me make sure I understand this. You're saying that the planning commission cannot look at this until this body says they can?
yes, sir.
Okay.
That's the process.
That has not been the process in the last two I've seen, but okay, I'll go with it.
But
Brandon, I don't think I have any more questions right now. I may, but I can get with you if I got any more questions.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Will you email that to us, please?
Yes, sir, I
So
will.
we look at it in a
Yes,
little
sir.
more detail.
Thank you.
Okay, Brandon, thank you so much. That's some exciting stuff. Okay, approval of minutes, September 9th, 2024, 5 p.m. council work session.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pike, second by Mr. Jackson.
Is that approval of minutes?
Yes,
I signed up for B.
we're just doing A right now.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Freaky.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everybody about your decision at one of the last, that specific work session, that we were not allowed, in your opinion, to allow public comments on agenda items. That was your comment. Have you relooked at that?
No.
Okay. I requested at that point an update on Chief Pinion's plan. Has there been one?
I expect something tomorrow, actually.
Something. Okay. And at that, on the minutes, it says that Mr. Bowling left at 17:20 hours and the meeting adjourned at 17:47. So a majority of the meeting last time, he did not even attend. Is that correct?
I'm a guest to the council. Whenever they do roll call, my name's not mentioned.
Okay, but we can annotate that you're leaving at 17:20 hours in those minutes.
I'll leave after the business portion of
The business portion should probably also include, and can include, as we talked earlier today, even though you don't value my opinion, Mr. McMasters, that your responsibility includes the entire through adjournment in the city council meeting.
Okay, we've got, anything else? We've got a motion, Mr. Pike, a second from Mr. Jackson, roll call.
McMasters?
Aye.
Jackson?
Aye.
September 9th, 2024 minutes are approved 3-0. Next we have September 16th, 2024, 10 a.m. council meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pike. Second by Mr. Jackson. Any comments from council? Andrea?
I'm a blur. All right, I don't know how much I'll actually be able to fit in 3 minutes, but I sent in my request for a correction and a revision to the September 16th council meeting minutes, because it pretty much sanitized Hunter Pepper's comments, and I would really appreciate, we open with a prayer, and I pray for complete transparent records, because this does go down in history. I believe that Hunter Pepper's comments that he did not recall any communications with me when they actually happened in public forums about multimodal access were inappropriate. I also feel that it's completely inappropriate that he has claimed to have been reaching out for funding for multimodal access. And I believe that we have professionals employed by the city to do that. I don't think that he has the competency to follow that out. So my ask is for it to be corrected. I've sent it via email, so I won't go over my 3 minutes by going through everything that I discussed, but I don't believe that the minutes are correct as they stand. Thank you.
And Mr. Faruqi.
On September 16th, so the first one we talked about was September 9th, and at that point I asked you about Pinion's plan, and you gave me the same answer you just did, so over a month ago. On September 16th, at the council meeting, I questioned the timelines for the chief's plan. And at that point, we also received a great briefing by the finance department. And why cannot this body request that the chief provide a briefing? We just received a great briefing on a DYS building. Why cannot this body get its stuff together and have him brief his plan? Because there's a lot of people besides me interested in finding out how he's going to reconcile his plan with the finances and funding available to him. So when might that happen, Mr. McMaster? You said the plan might be at the end of the week.
I expect an announcement tomorrow.
Can you ask the gentleman in the back, the police chief who's here today, to provide that briefing?
He will announce it tomorrow.
What will he announce then tomorrow?
Mr.
The
Faruqi,
announcement.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I can announce that you also had an incident this weekend. I'm sorry about that, Mayor. I can announce that in public forum. I'm asking for the police chief to tell us what his announcement will be. He's here. Why do we got to wait until tomorrow? The sun will come up tomorrow, right?
That's when the announcement's planned.
Oh, is it your announcement, Mayor?
No, sir, I'm speaking as the supervisor for the chief. That's when the announcement's planned.
Okay. Thank you.
all right, we got a motion by Mr. Pike, a second by Mr. Jackson. Any other discussion? Roll call.
McMasters.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Hyde.
Approval minutes is approved with a 3-0 vote. Next up is September 16th, 2024, 9:30 a.m. council work session.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pike, second by Mr. Jackson. Is there any discussion? Mr. Faruqi.
Okay, this is the 19 September special called council meeting. Now, I just asked Mr. Pinion back there when
This is the 16th council work session.
I'm sorry. I have it as a CCM. But anyway, I'll go through that first. At that point, I asked if Renshaw was retired in good standing with his badge and gun. Mr. Marxist notified me that at the last meeting he was. That begs the question of how was he allowed to do that? If the process says you are supposed to be, before you are granted permission to go retire, or as part of that process, the question of whether or not you are in good standing ought to come up beforehand. Did it?
Mr. Faruqi, this is minutes. The answer is he retired in good standing, okay?
How did he retire in good standing when he ought to have been under investigation by that police chief for his department's actions?
I shared with you last time that he got what you just described.
He got what?
He got his pistol.
So we have a person who has been documented as doxing, hazing, tasing personnel, receiving no administrative action before he retires, and the police chief or the department and or the council has elected to allow him to have his badge and gun?
I can't answer that because
I know you can't answer that. I'm asking this body, Mr. Mayor, please, could somebody answer that? How did that happen?
I didn't know that it happened.
I have no faith in your ability, then, to assign an announcement from your police chief, who you are responsible for supervising, if you don't know why we have an officer retiring with badge and gun.
There are certain processes that happen in our merit system, personnel process, that don't come to me till they're a matter of doing determination hearings. I don't know about them. We've been been saying that for months.
Okay. So I would offer to you, this body, that there is a procedural issue in terms of how that's done within the city before it happens again. Will department heads stay through public comments as required in City Ordinance 2271?
What's that got to do with these minutes?
Because that's in the minutes. If you'd like to read them anytime, Mayor, you'd find that to be true.
The answer to that is, they do not have to stay after the business portion of it. There is no requirement.
There is no definition of business portion conclusion, including or not including comments. You have answered a question, Mr. Marks.
Yes, right.
That is not the appropriate answer.
That's okay.
When will you, Mr. McMasters, be required to attend the Police Advisory Board?
I'm not on the police advisory board.
But that is part of your duties and responsibilities assigned to you by this council. You are the police liaison, correct?
I am, and we've gone over several times what that.
You go to Parks and Rec Board meetings, correct?
I do.
Okay, because you're a member of and a liaison to Parks and Rec.
member of-
There is an action going on in your police department that ought to involve your presence. God bless you.
Is up. Thank you, sir. Roll call.
McMasters.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye. Motion passes 3-0. Next, D, September 19th, 2024, 2 p.m. special called council meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Park. Second by Mr. Jackson. Any discussion? Mr. Faruqi.
I've said my piece. Thank you very much.
Okay, cool. Roll call.
McMasters.
Aye.
Jackson.
Oh, wait, I forgot one thing. Probably the most important thing I had to say. Justice for Steve.
Set public hearings, ordinance number 244594, approve zoning ordinance rewrite and zoning map. Set public hearing for Monday, November 2024 at 6 p.m.
Yeah, good evening, council. This is just the public hearing, saying that we will have a vote on November 4th for the zoning rewrite. This has been a 5-year process. We also will have a public review meeting on Tuesday, October 22nd, from 4:30 to 6 p.m. at Turner Searles. We are asking you to send questions beforehand to planning@decatur-al.gov. That way we can address them, and we do want, questions from the public and what, what they may see in the zoning rewrite. The map and the document are online at the City of Decatur webpage. It's right on the front page. You can also scan a QR code around the chamber tonight, and that will also bring you to the main page.
Okay, Andrea?
Yeah, okay. So, I guess I'm just going to stay up here now until the bell rings. Since my previous comments were basically ignored, and we're going to go ahead and have minutes approved that are inaccurate and revisionist. So a bunch of us reviewed this July of 2022. We put a lot of work into that, okay? We have no idea of knowing what's the difference between that we put all that work into and this. The other point is the online version of this really ADA compliant? I don't think that you guys know that. I don't think that you're able to answer that. But here's the thing. This is the legacy that matters most. This is going on 6 years. And I want to tell you, if we don't slow it down and actually give the public a chance to truly understand what is in this massive document that has grown, it grew from the first runaround in 2021, it doubled in size, and then from the 2022 that I tossed back, and I'm sorry if I hit anybody. Okay. It grew by 31 pages, and we took the grass parking out. But there's no way to know within this what has changed. I feel like I'm back trying to do my master's thesis in 2 weeks, because that's how long we've got until this event that was just talked about today, and we don't even know what the format's going to be. This is an abomination, and I want to tell you something. There are some things that do not age well. This is not going to age well if you guys don't slow down and not hold the vote on November 4th, which is the day before national elections, by the way. Some things don't age well. This is 6 years in the making. Why can't you slow it down by 6 weeks? Because I want to tell you, there's one thing that really didn't age well. Wait, I'm wearing this wrong. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. And sorry if I hit anybody with books. You know what didn't age well? The tail is getting ready to wag the dog. Yeah.
Mr. Faruqi?
You gotta love that young lady, I tell you. She's awesome. Okay. In reference to the zoning reg, 401 pages without any maps. It's been in the net for how long? How long has this thing been visible that we could take a look at, including the maps?
It's been there since May.
Where?
It's online.
Online? Okay, so in your packets, there is no map, there are no maps for any of these documents in today's agenda item. Therefore,
There is a, if I remember correctly, y'all correct me, but at one point, there was quite literally, you could go online and you could click on a parcel, and it would tell you what the current zoning is and what the future zoning would be if this were adopted.
when we talked earlier, and hope this is not part of my 4 minutes because I'm addressing your question, when we talked earlier about why we have stovepipes of excellence which don't allow us as citizens to gain an understanding about how all of this stuff interacts with each other, how this new CYS building might interact with the local community, that could be a problem. And so we're trying to get ahead of that problem by showing us the work, show us the maps. They don't exist in the documents you're currently looking at.
But the maps do.
Okay.
Stephanie, I'm curious. Let's don't count this again. Do we not have a map here at City Hall? We have a map in the city clerk's office and one in the planning department. Is that right?
There were public meetings with maps displayed.
Yes.
Okay. In terms of what you are going to be responsible for approving or not approving, the resolution as it currently is written is not complete. This regulation needs to be simplified and clarified. Why is there no oversight over site planning development by City Council? This remains solely in the Planning Commission, a board where Mr. Pepper, who's no longer here, is supposed to provide oversight. Building inspection has no identified administrative responsibilities in Section 25-2.1. Convoluted regulation, which appears Chapter 7, Chapter 18 of City Code, are not included in the regulation. There are issues with the Planning Commission having a vision of how each planned site will impact the whole of the city. New development equals new voters, and we ought to perhaps relook at districting. Need clarification. Okay, here's my biggest problem right here. There is no requirement in a majority of this regulation for neighborhood meetings. So if I, as a citizen, am going to try and figure out what the impact of something coming up is going to be, there is no way for me to be notified of that decision upcoming. Right now, it says in the regulation, mailed notices within 500 feet. I will tell you where 3 planned activities are currently being built on right now on Central Avenue. There are maybe 3 total houses that are going to have the ability to decide whether or not 300 additional homes ought to be built there. My suggestion to you is take a look at parity and equality. If 300 homes are going to be built, demand that the nearest 300 people in that city area be advised of that meeting and have them attend, a quorum of those people to attend any neighborhood meetings. That might go ahead of us letting us know what is going on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stewart. Next, we'll move on to...
I'm sorry. Justice for Steve.
Resolution number 24-152, approve abatement of unsafe conditions at 2913 Leesdale Avenue Southwest. Anybody here to speak on that? Seeing no one here to speak.
Sergeant, do you mind looking out the back side, see if Josh Shalom's out there, please?
I think you got hit in the head with the line here, right?
I can speak to it. The property owner has purchased permits, but there's been no, that we know of, no work been done on the property. And so we would ask that you proceed.
And permits have been purchased prior to this, right?
Yes,
Same
yes, they were.
repetitive.
And we would work with the property owner if we.
Okay. Public hearing is now closed.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pike, second by Mr. Jackson. Any discussion?
Excuse me, which one was this on?
Leesdale Avenue.
Okay.
Roll call.
McMaster's.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Resolution number 24-152 to approve abatement of unsafe condition at 2913 Leesdale Avenue is approved with a vote of 3-0. Second, we have public hearing, resolution number 24-226, approved request for restaurant retail liquor license by Santa Ana Brothers LLC, DBA Marlin's Bar and Grill, located at 2148 Beltline Road Southwest.
They've satisfied all requirements, and we recommend approval.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone here to speak on this? Seeing no one here to speak, I'll consider the hearing closed.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pike, second by Mr. Jackson. Any discussion? Roll call.
McMaster's.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Resolution 24-226 is approved with a vote of 3-0. Next up is resolution number 24-227, redirect ARPA funding from Pine Park to Parkway Park.
Yes, these are some funds that we received from ARPA to do renovations at. The council approved these funds to go to Pines Park. We've done most of the work that has been requested at Pines Park. Mr. Jackson had asked for some additional work to be done at Parkway Park, so we're just asking that the remainder of these funds that was dedicated to Pines be redirected to Parkway Park.
Motion by Mr. Jackson.
Second.
And a second by Mr. Pike. Any discussion? Roll call.
McMaster's.
Aye.
Jackson. Pike.
Aye.
Resolution 24-227 is approved with a vote of 3-0. Next up is resolution 24-228, authorize mayor to apply for Children's Trust Fund Family Matters Program.
This is a program we've been doing for probably the last 20 years. Just want to talk about to give free therapy, and we bring family in and discuss issues they deal with, and this one to help the school out. We're doing one-on-one.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Park.
Second.
Second by Mr. Jackson. Any discussion? Roll call.
McMaster's.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Resolution 24-228 is approved with a vote of 3-0. Next, we have resolution 24-229, approved community service and economic development contracts for FY25.
Evening, Council. This is some housekeeping regarding the resolution to allow the mayor to sign these community service contracts, which the funding was approved in the budget.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Park.
I'll second it to get it on, well, before I second it, I would like for 6 of them to be taken out and voted on separately.
Okay. Works for
Boys and Girls Club, Decatur Morgan Chamber Partnership, Decatur Morgan County Business Residential Development Board, Best and Brightest for $500,000, Princess Theater, and the Carnegie.
Okay, can you repeat that again, please?
Yeah, I'll do that to Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
You want to just Herman, can he just state it and I can make a motion? That way, I don't have to keep
Yeah,
moving them
why
off.
don't you just make a motion just to approve
I'll do that.
the others except for those.
Do you want me to make the motion?
That'll be fine.
I'll make the motion for Boys and Girls Club Community
Oh,
Function.
well, we can do them.
Can we?
Oh, you want to do
We
it?
can do them collectively,
Okay.
because I know you guys will probably support it. I can't support these. Anyway,
Okay, so just do them collectively?
Yes.
Okay, so I got a motion by Mr.
Do
Pike.
you want to say them again so I can?
I can do
I got,
Boys and Girls Club,
Okay.
$100,000. Decatur Morgan Chamber Partnership, $45,000. Decatur Morgan Chamber Business and Residential Development Board, $45,000. The Best and the Brightest for $500,000. Princess Theater for $72,000, and the Carnegie Theater for $15,300.
okay, thank you.
Did I go too fast?
No, I got you.
Okay. Good.
Okay, so we have a motion from Mr. Pike and a second from Mr. Jackson.
And we're voting on this one and not the remainder.
Right. We're voting on this, and we'll pull the next 6 and take them separately.
Good deal.
Roll call?
McMaster's.
Aye.
Jackson.
No.
Pike.
Aye.
Okay, resolution 24229 is approved with a vote of 2 to 1. All right, so now do we want to take, you want to take all the
Remainders.
6
And
together?
take the remainder.
So moved.
Oh, second, I'm sorry.
Okay, so
Used to be in that position.
motion by Mr. Pike, second by Mr. Jackson. Any discussion? Roll call?
McMaster's.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
And that resolution is approved with a vote of
Thank you,
3
council.
to nothing.
Hey, Carl. I don't know, I got a question on this. I don't know if it's now at the end of its time. Andrea had asked to delay the November 4th, but I don't know that unless it passed us, y'all didn't vote on anything at all on that.
It's just setting it for November 4th.
It's just an introduction of,
It's just introducing it.
Okay, so
no action.
can we
taken.
have a discussion on delaying it? Can we ask someone to make a motion to delay it, like 6 weeks?
I think that will be brought up for discussion at that time.
Okay, so on November 4th, say delay it.
Right, that's when, I think that's when that would be the most prudent time.
The presidential election,
It's the day before. It's
or the day before.
right, the day before.
Could we not consider now looking at the circumstances and saying that it would be prudent to delay?
I don't, me personally, I don't see a problem delaying it. I don't. I mean, it has been 5 or 6 years. What's another couple weeks? I mean, I don't disagree with that. But on the flip side, it has been 5 or 6 years. We need to get it on across the finish line.
And is there some problem with having it so that it was like the Decatur One Plan where people could have it at different places and different times and different people from the public would be able to come and ask questions? Why do we have to cram it into one day?
Yeah, so on the format will be very similar to what you just described in the one Decatur, where there are different stations set up at Turner Searles to be able to walk around and meander and ask questions, things of that nature.
And I understand it, but people have jobs and people have school and people have children and people have all kinds of other things that are going on. Why does it have to be on one day? Whereas when we had for 2 hours, whereas when we did one Decatur, we had it set up where we had several hours where people could go to different locations, have conversation, and have things intelligently discussed with the intelligent people here in Decatur. Because y'all are treating us like we're idiots, and we're not.
I can say that Mr. Shaw is a person that wants to hear from feedback like that, and I would think that might very well go back and reconsider.
Well, and I want to make a point. We had a public meeting in May. We've had public meetings before that. This will be the 4th public meeting we've had in the last 3 to 4 years. So just want to make sure that's
Well, we had Turner Searles, we weren't allowed to speak.
Yeah, we weren't allowed to.
We were told to hush.
Well, when we had it here in May, a lot of folks were here. You were able to speak, and none of you showed up for that meeting.
Dane, share with them, I think we're getting 2 meetings mixed up. Share with them the meeting at Turner Searles, and that will be several hours.
Yeah, so the meeting at Turner Searles was,
Tell them the date.
Yes, Okay, so we had one in May that was a similar format. This one's October 22nd, 4:36. Tables will be set up, maps of the different regions. You can come around and you can ask questions at different tables about what it's going to, how it affects you, what the regions are like, what did you read in the zoning rewrite that will basically, you had a question on, and we can answer that.
In 2 hours.
An hour and a half. 4:30.
Well, we're not going to leave at 6 o'clock if there's still people around. And we have to have a time limit.
So what a year?
It's not one in here, you just have one in May.
Has the plan changed since then?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes, it's changed. Hasn't the plan changed since
Okay.
then? So it would be the same, right?
And there's no reconciliation. There's no reconciliation of what's different from version to version. I mean, this is a big deal. All we're asking for is a delay, and to say that we can vote on a delay on November 4th, why can't we just say, we're just gonna slow it down, we're gonna give the public a chance to understand. I mean, I'm telling you, this is a massive, massive document, and to cross-reference this with our current muni code, it's taken me, I've gotten, well, I just got this one, but the old one from 2022, I spent countless hours cross-referencing it with our current muni code. It's a lot of work. And this is our legacy. This is our legacy for our future generation. Why can't we slow down our roll a little?
And it also speaks to transparency, which is running through all of this.
Andrea, let me call you after this. Okay, moving on, resolution 24-230, approval for Bagby Elevator Project Jail Lobby.
Council Mayor Stephanie McLean, Decatur Parks and Rec. This is basically just a update that we need to do, a change order for the approval of the original approval to do the elevator work. This is for a new wall panel and door for the police department elevator so that everything will work together.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Pike, second by Mr. Jackson. Is there any discussion? Mr. Faruqi.
Just like this Bagby elevator project, which had no explanation in terms of what it is or where it is or what its function is, the zoning regulation ought to be part of an education process that you as council and you as mayor take ownership of, to share that information that you've gleaned, even though you, Mr. Mayor, have said that Dane would be really interested and you obviously have no interest in it, that somehow we as a collective body of legislative intent educates the public on this. You have a meeting coming up, I think, in a couple of days.
No, we're not going to do it. I was going to announce that after.
Okay, I'm sorry. Where is this elevator?
Start again in November.
Where is this elevator?
The elevator is in the police department on the first floor.
What does it do?
It,
Because I've never seen it.
probably not. It provides access to what used to be the city jail.
Okay, so we don't have a city jail. Why do we need an elevator to go down to
It
it?
also gives access to the municipal court.
So who needs access to the municipal court through that elevator?
The people that cannot go up the stairwell, we some of them.
I would assume that's an ADA compliance
If they're in
issue.
a wheelchair, they can get in the elevator and go up to the municipal.
Well, that would be a great thing to put in the resolution or in the documents that you present at one of these meetings, so we don't have a lack of clarity in terms of where this thing is. I thought you guys were talking about the two elevators over here. It's the only elevators I see. So why can't we do that?
Can I speak to that? So I'm actually standing in for Kurt Johnson today. This is actually a change order to the original resolution that does have to do with the two elevators here. And that resolution was number 24-101, and it actually went out with the bid, 24-015. So what this does is make sure that the police elevators work in the same way that these elevators, so that everything works together. And some of this, just so you know, is we had to change the panels and things so that all of them would operate together. So,
I have a motion by Mr. Pike and a second by Mr. Jackson. Any other discussion? Roll call.
McMasters.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 24-230 is approved with a vote of 3-0. Next is Resolution 24-231, approval for Flint Tennis Court demo and disposal.
okay, so with this particular park, we did have someone come out and take a look at the tennis courts. They would not warranty any of the work because these tennis courts are in really need of repair. So the thing to do with this, what we've kind of talked about, and as we talked about last week, having some meetings with the community and things about what people want to see in these different parks, this would be one of them. So regardless, what we're being told by the contractors is this demolition would have to be done even if we went back and wanted tennis courts there. These are not, they're not going to warranty and they're not going to hold up. So that's the reason for this, to get it kind of back to that slate where we can make some decisions.
So moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Pike, a second by Mr. Jackson. Any discussion? Mr. Fariki?
I'm sorry, Mayor, are you on pickleball scheduler?
No, sir, I'm not.
Just checking.
Yes, sir.
Okay, while I applaud the initiative of Jason Lake in recognizing the need for larger citywide needs-based surveys of parks, the decision by, and I don't know who it is, Parks and Rec Board, Carlton McMasters, who, to allocate over $100,000 to add a fence at Parkway and demolish a fence at Flint. Stovepipes of excellence, I get it, but could the fence at Flint be repurposed for Parkway? First question.
No,
Why not?
because I don't want secondhand fence in my district. I want new fence that is going to be deserving of the kids who play there.
Okay, so the secondhand fence that's currently been there and been there for 10 years, as long as I've lived.
Something else, but I don't want for that.
As long as it, I got you. But there are ways to look at, that's my point, courses of action.
I don't disagree with that, but not here.
And how do plans on a napkin make the cut for public funding? Mr. McMasters?
Oh, you're talking about the master plan that was kind of put together back in 2011, 2010, under former Park and Rec Director Jeff Dunlap. And I was just given an old stack of papers that had potential projects for it. Had that park, it had the ball fields at Flint, it had Carrie Matthews Park, it had a lot of different things. So I don't know how it was put together. I wasn't here at that time, but I would imagine it'd be like anything else. Somebody sees something, like Mr. Jackson saw a need at Parkway Park. He wanted to get funding for it. He got it. So that's how that works.
Okay, I would say that's not a very good process if that's how it works. Now, is it because the Parks and Rec Board meets in secrecy at the second floor of an isolated building at the end of Point Mallard?
Pretty sure those meetings are posted.
They may be posted. You know how hard it was for me to get to see my very first one? It was quite difficult because there's a bulldog at the bottom of that, and she sits right there sometimes, but they won't let you up there. No, ma'am. It may be convenient for the board members, but not for the public interest. Why can't we televise that board like this one?
I think that, let me jump in there. I'm going to answer this question. You weren't asking it of me, but I think all of our board meetings need to be televised.
I agree.
I think that especially our personnel board meetings.
Amen.
Because we have employees that are impacted by those decisions, who are at work basically during the day, but I think that all of our board meetings need to be televised. It's a way for our public, our employees, and just all of our citizens know what's going on in our city.
Now, on that napkin, apparently based on the article I read in the Decatur Daily, there was a spend plan for $250K for a 2.5 acre park on Lynette. You familiar with that? Mm-hmm. Okay. Why couldn't those same resources be applied to an 8-acre grounds in Flint?
I had somebody with that community specifically ask for some recreation.
So the process, again, is broken. If some community member asks you, then you'll take it forward as a member of the board. That's procedurally quite errant, in my opinion.
Okay.
Okay. Not okay, actually. Why do we always have one plan heading to council approval rather than courses of action with an evaluation of cost and measures of effectiveness? A 2-acre park affecting X number of bodies compared to a potential 8-acre park affecting X number of bodies in the decision-making process before it comes forward, perhaps as part of the board that you're in charge of.
I'm not in charge of the Parks and Rec Board, Mr. Faruqi. I would hope you know.
Who's in charge of that?
It's advising board to Park and Rec Director. They come up
And
with-
who's in charge of it?
Who's in charge of the board? Shane Stewart is president of Park and Rec Board.
Okay. Would he be willing to provide that type of information?
I'm sure he would. If you
Okay.
ask.
Well, I'm asking you as my councilman to please take ownership of that. Thank you. Oh, justice for Steve.
Staff, do you have anything else?
Not on this one.
I have a motion by Mr. Pike, a second by Mr. Jackson. Roll call.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson. Aye.
Resolution 24-231 is approved 3-0. Next is 24-232, intergovernmental agreement amendment with Decatur City Board of Education.
I think Mr. Marks spoke to this a little bit last week, but just so, I'm just going to kind of go through and explain a little bit of this as well. This is a basically an amendment to the original agreement for this. This has to do with, just like some of our other partnerships we do with the schools. So this would be an agreement that was actually effective on September 7th, 2023. This would be a change for this one. And it kind of lays out a couple of things. It lays out the actual school board will be responsible for the site preparation and work for the tennis courts on that property. The city would then pay the school board an amount of not to exceed $30,000 to take care of that. Instead of the city doing that, the school board's going to do that. It also gives us an area to stage materials that we're needing to stage out there close to the school to be able to work on the new softball fields. And there was a small structure that was there that had to be removed based on the construction of the fields. This is actually asking us to do a small 10-by-10 storage building. It'll be a block building for the school just to replace that and put that back. And then we would just do that. The board will be responsible for purchasing doors and roll-ups and everything else that they need for that. So
moved.
I have a motion by Mr. Pike.
I'm not going to support this tonight, but I'll make a second just to get it on the floor, and we'll go into it from there. Second.
Second by Mr. Jackson. Any discussion?
I did not support this project from the beginning.
yes, sir.
And it's going to be difficult for me to not support something in the beginning and then go along with add-ons and
Yes,
things of
sir.
that nature. So I'm not going to support this tonight. My sentiment, my feeling is still the same about this project, so we'll go from there.
Yes, sir.
Roll call.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson.
No.
Aye.
Resolution 24-232 is approved 2-1. Next is Resolution 24-233, approved proposed quote for cleaning and mulching at ADM site.
So this is a proposal for someone to come in, a contractor to come in and basically get the mulching and pieces done so that this property, as far as mowing and things, can be added to the city mowing contract.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Pike, second by Mr. Jackson. Any discussion? Roll call.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Resolution number 24-233 is approved by a vote of 3-0. Next, we have ordinance number 244592, declare surplus and authorize the sale of 720 Sykes Street Northwest.
Yes, we just had someone approach the city about purchasing this project purchasing this property. So this would just convey that to them.
So moved.
Second.
Well, it's first reading.
Oh, sorry.
I'll make a motion for immediate consideration.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion for immediate consideration. Roll call.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Pike.
Aye.
Immediate consideration is passed with a vote of 3-0. And we had a motion. Did Mr. Jackson make?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Jackson with a motion, Mr. Pike with a second. Any discussion?
I'll simply say that, and Alan, you can probably explain this better than I do. People put their money up front for these properties, and sometimes when we extend them out for a month or so, I don't know what the impact is for the money that they put up, if that's something that
Yes.
they're counting on, if they need that money. So I am going to make a motion. So I made that motion simply because we can let this person get on with the process
Yep.
of doing whatever they're going to do with their property.
Thank you, Mr. Jackson.
All right, roll call.
McMaster.
Aye.
Jackson.
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting consideration passes and ordinance passes 3-0.
Thank y'all.
And other first reading, ordinance number 244593, authorizing the issuance of a $5 million revolving line of credit.
Good evening, council, mayor. My name is Lisa Terry. I'm the business manager and CFO at Decatur Utilities. This is the renewal of $5 million line of credit with Renaissance Bank that has been in place for a number of years. The original issue was February 28th, 2014. The term is 2 years. It has a tax-free variable rate equivalent to the Wall Street Journal Prime minus 1%. Any questions?
Okay, anything else from mayor?
No, sir.
Anything from department heads? Anything from council? Next council work session will be held on October 14th, 2024 at 5 p.m. The next regular council meeting will be held on October 21st, 2024 at 10 a.m. We will now move into public comment, and first up is Christy Love.
Bye, Howard.
Good evening. I would spend another 3 minutes addressing Councilman Pepper for his immature harassment of Justice for Steve Perkins supporters, but I will take the advice of Proverbs 26, the easy-to-read version, verses 4 and 5. There is no good way to answer fools when they say something stupid. If you answer them, then you, too, will look like a fool. If you don't answer them, they will think they're smart. Verse 11 of Proverbs 26 says, like a dog that returns to its vomit, a fool does the same foolish things again and again. I would much rather address the Karen who just left the room, known as the mayor of Decatur. Oh my, he's such a victim. 6 people show up to his church on the anniversary of Steve's murder, and we are now stalkers. No, we are citizens taking advantage of our constitutional rights in a silent protest. I smiled and spoke to him when it was God's will that we passed right in front of him. We sat in the middle, not near him. He had DPD watching us like a hawk. We stood and prayed. We stood at the reading of the word, and we stood while singing hymns. I even Googled the words of one of the songs entitled, I Set My Hope. I was particularly touched by the line, and I dread the waves of justice. We had no plans to do anything to him, nor has this movement ever had those plans. The most militant of us were not even present. He felt uncomfortable because of his guilt. When you're living like Christ, the safest place should be in the church, the building, surrounded by the church, the people. He's dreading the waves of justice because they are coming. This Sunday, a young man attended who refused to shake his hand. Why should he? He has been wrongly arrested, spent more time in jail than the actual murderer. He is walked out on in meetings. He is called names like terrorist. The hand extension was fake. Reminds me of my Bible study this morning. In Luke 3, John the Baptist is baptizing crowds, and the Pharisees and Sadducees approached to be baptized, and John called them snakes and told them they had to change their hearts and live like they have changed before he would baptize them. The mayor needs to come correct if he wants a greeting. Did he reach out to the young man to ask why he was offended or even pray for the young man? No. He put him on blast on social media, causing an even greater rift. All for sympathy when he is wrong. He and his supporters use the most hyperbolic terms to describe us. terrorists, stalkers, mob. Talking about the way we behave, I think the mayor's behavior was more offensive when he was bumping and grinding on a young man at a cross-dressing event, or of his supporters after the Alabama-Vanderbilt game. One might say that we are too well behaved considering an innocent life was taken. Justice for Steve Perkins.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hello.
You know, I've been coming here for a year, and I want to ask a question. Do you know the Lord?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know the Lord?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. Y'all read King James Bible? Do you follow it?
To the best of my abilities.
You know, 70 years ago, I was a kid, an old woman now. Police broke in our front door looking for somebody that we didn't even know. Did anybody get killed? Nobody died in that situation. But 70 years later, I remember it like it was yesterday. Katrella, her babies, they gotta live with that. And somebody did die. You gentlemen sat up here with your smug faces. I'm just very observant. I don't talk much. But you sit here with your smug faces. This man say something, y'all look at him like he ain't got no business talking. It's amazing to me. See, I love the Lord. And he would not allow me to go along with wrong. Amen. I will stand for right until I can't stand. But you can go along with evil, with murder, and tell me that you believe in God. Well, I'm here to tell you, I believe in him, and I believe every word that he says. You shall reap what you sow. Thank you.
I joined the Perkins family and this movement 1 year ago. That's when I actively started standing with them. Side by side, we have walked miles and miles to shine light and spread awareness to what happened to Steve Perkins' family. We have raised our voices, we have laughed, we have cried, and we have been angry together. We have stood together in silence, and we have prayed together. We have been harassed, we have been targeted, and we have been attacked together. The thing is, we are together. The movement might have had more numbers at the beginning, but the movement has more power now. Because we have weeded out those here for the wrong reason, and these people that you see here and have come to know their faces, we are a unit. We are solid. We are working together, and we will not be stopping anytime soon. We are fighting for justice for Steve, and that means justice for his wife, his children, his mother, Nick, Hope, and all of the Perkins family. Last week, I read what Jada spoke at Steve's one-year memorial service. Avani, in a more laid-back atmosphere, had said some words a couple nights before that. It was spur of the moment, so we didn't get everything she said, but here are a few of her words. Remember, this is coming from an 8-year-old who was 7 when her father was murdered by Decatur Police Department. She said, "I kissed my daddy goodnight. Then the next day I woke up, and that was the last time I got to see him. He always gave me a bunch of candy, and all I remember is that he gave me a bath, and I just felt and knew something was going to happen to him. All I know that this should have never happened. It was the police and those tow truck drivers. Justice for Steve."
talk about the social media posts that's going on Facebook. I don't know who
Pull the
is.
mic down so
I don't know who Angie Norris is, but I'm going to read what she said, and I think it's very distasteful, disrespectful, and disheartening to the Perkins family. All these idiots are doing is intimidating Tab Bolden, and it's wrong, especially at church. Please arrest these idiots and keep these people locked up. I despise everyone on these people that are protesting, and it's time for us to stop. But I just want to let you know, whoever Angie Norris is, we're not going no damn where until I get justice for Steve Perkins. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow up with Maggie, and this for everybody that has something to say, all these fake Christians and these fake pastors that had things to say. Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 17 says, "If he hears you, you have gained a brother. But if he will not hear you, take with you one or two more, that by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. If he refuses you, tell it to the church." Justice for Steve.
Sierra?
So I mainly came tonight to address what the mayor posted about one of the members of the movement going to church Sunday. From what I know, and I spoke to this man directly after the service, and he was able to tell me what the service was about. He was able to tell me that the choir started out decent and ended bad because he paid attention. Meanwhile, the mayor was busy sneaking pictures of someone behind him. So who was paying attention and who wasn't in that service? Who got the message from God and who didn't in that service? What do you think? What do you think?
Sounds like man could tell you what's said.
So though I'm so sorry. So even though he went in with, his dreads, and he may have not fit into that white church very well, he got the message more than what most of them people in there did. Because they were so worried about this out of the norm that was there, this black man that was there, that they didn't worry about the Word of God. Not one little bit. So maybe they need to do a little bit of soul searching and read that Bible a little harder. And then there's this Angie Norris woman and this Kathleen Walsh woman who keeps making idle threats and this, that, and the third. And to them, I would like to say, baby, I'm ready. Come with it. Other than that, what I want to say is this movement's doing far more good than it's doing bad. This man that sits here and pretends to be a mayor is so evil and doing far worse. He's doing so much more bad than we ever even dreamed of. I mean, he's turned the sprinklers on us. I had pneumonia for 2 weeks because of the mayor. So, I mean, we see the good, we see the bad. Everyone sees it. We've got people that just chooses to blindly follow, but that's okay because they're following evil. So with that, I would like to say we want Tab Bolden gone. We want Todd Pinion gone. Still, we want change in this city, and we will not stop or be scared away. Period. It's not happening. Also, I would like to ask y'all, if y'all found out that an officer or a former officer that was under this gag order was, say, under Pinky B on Facebook, I'm sure everyone's heard of him, read his thoughts, read what he says. How would y'all feel about that? Maybe even perhaps an officer that is being charged with murder right now being behind Pinky B. We're on to you, bud. FBI's on to you, too. How do y'all feel about that? What is your thoughts? Another officer behind another fake profile? Well, former officer, maybe officer. Gag order is very current. Yeah.
I would assume if he's under a gag order that the DA would address that if if it is an former officer under a gag order that district attorney's office.
Yeah, we just kind of got onto it, so we're turning it over to the correct people. It will be, yeah. But justice for Steve. We're not going nowhere.
Okay, please have it noted that Tab departed at 1900 hours today. Justice for Steve is justice for me, and justice for Steve is justice for you. Yes. Okay, how can you have confidence in Chief Pinion's ability to lead our police department? Mr. McMasters, you were not here last time we talked. How can you have confidence?
Because it's so much more than, it's officer morale, it's crime rate, there's a lot of things that go into it.
Okay, can you elucidate a little more with facts, maybe?
I don't have them directly in front of me.
Agreed. At the super secret personnel board meeting, items 3 and 4 were incentive pay for field training officers and retention pay for the department at over $200,000. In addition to the newly approved $20 million budget, 80% of which is for personnel, of which we only have 112 personnel filled right now. The per capita cost for a police officer at authorized strength is 11% higher than Huntsville Police Department.
Wrong. You're absolutely.
Fill me in, brother.
Our per capita cost is $283 and theirs is $316.
I will take you up on that challenge because those facts are not what are in the budget. Do you feel like we're getting that much better service from our officers?
I think they've gone through a lot in the last year.
We all have. We all have.
So are we getting the service out of our officers? That was your question. That was your question, right?
At a per capita rate higher than the Huntsville Police Department. It is. You're looking at old numbers, brother, because you don't have the new numbers in.
So are you looking at the CAFR numbers?
Per capita budgeted personnel cost for Huntsville Police Department in FY25 compared to our city.
Ours is 283 and theirs is 316.
Okay, I think you're wrong. I discussed at that meeting the apparent inability for him to inculcate values like loyalty to the department and their subordinates, duty to their subordinates and the force, selfless service in accomplishing that which needs to be done in the field training officers to begin this need for additional money. To see their responsibility in training up-and-coming officers without being tied to a paycheck. That's called professionalism. You do it because it's what needs to be done to raise up the future leaders of your department. After a police lieutenant responsible for school resource officers shot himself and another officer, an apparent negligent discharge during quick draw training at the range, an on-scene responding officer allowed a Foxville Police Department officer to leave the scene of a multiple injury crime at Chipotle without conducting any tests for intoxicants.
Do you know that for a fact? Yes.
I know what I saw, and I did not hear anything coming back from the police department to reclaim that.
And you approve what they did?
I don't, but I'm not up here stating it as fact.
Okay, I'm not here to prove a negative. I'm here to make statements. Not to mention the use of excessive speed in running down a fleeing vehicle resulting in the death of a juvenile. Not to mention the ambush of a citizen on his own property resulting in 17 shots fired with errant projectiles striking nearby homes. Not to mention the arrest of peaceful protesters, tasing of the same, doxing of the same by a DPD officer who was allowed to leave with his gun and badge. After he was also part of a gag hearing before the Morgan County DA. How much longer will the citizens of the city be required to bail out the chief and his poor leadership? Are you going to wait until his plan? Okay, so you're not going to do anything. I get that. In the military, a lack of confidence is sufficient to remove any officer from their present duties. I keep hearing y'all say the chief's a great guy. I keep hearing y'all bewail, oh, you have to put groceries on the table. and hiring, firing is the mayor's job as CEO, while you, as a legislative body, fail to do your duty and due diligence in monitoring what is going on in this city. I asked the chief why he hasn't implemented his plan. His response? What do you think his response was? He said he's waiting on Green to finish their study before he's going to do anything. First off, where are the deliverables? How will the city recognize or reorganize itself to meet the chief's intent to improve crisis communications? What training officer wellness is scheduled, or is it only these pay incentives for $200K? It is apparent that he doesn't have the skill, knowledge, or ability to make corrective action, or he will not. In either case, his leadership is no longer desired or needed because it cannot inspire confidence of the citizens, and I bet a majority of the police force.
I meant to say it at the end of the meeting, but we are going to resume our community meetings the first Tuesday of November at Turner Searles at 6 p.m. We took a break because of COVID. People were not comfortable coming. So Michelle and I have decided, Michelle King, school board representative, decided that people are going out. We're in here without masks, so we are ready to resume it. We want to hear what people have to say, and so any of you who are willing to come or want to come will be at Turner Searles at the first Tuesday of next month. You were about to say something?
Maybe not have it on election day?
Oh, it is. And they'll have that's a good point, and we had over there. Yeah, thank you. Let's revisit that at our next council meeting.